I took that hit like Pacquiao.
Almost a year after actor Will Smith slapped him on stage at the Oscars, Saturday night comedian Chris Rock hit back hard.
Y'all know what happened to me, getting smacked by Suge Smith. Everybody knows. I got summertime ringing in my ear.
Rock performing in Baltimore at his sold-out show titled Selective Outrage for the first show ever streamed live on Netflix.
I'm gonna try to do a show tonight without offending nobody.
I'm ready to hear his perspective.
I want to laugh my off.
Fans anticipating for months whether he would forgive and forget about being assaulted by Smith with the world watching, or go on the offensive and unleashing his revenge. In the closing minutes of his one-hour show, Rock gave his answer.
Nobody's picking on this bitch. She started this. And a lot of people go, Chris, how come you didn't do nothing back? I got parents. And you know what my parents taught me? Don't fight in front of white people.
Some thought the barrage was fair.
He's entitled to say his truth. I'm even happier that he's making money out of it. I think the show was funny as hell.
This is actually what I was expecting from Chris Rock, was exactly this form of satire where he makes everyone uncomfortable.
Others thought it was vicious.
Mean-spirited, vindictive, misogynistic. Talking two sides out of your mouth and saying that my parents raised me moments after you call someone's wife the B word to a global audience.
This is the first time most of the public is hearing from Rock after the controversial incident at last year's Academy Awards.
Uh-oh, Richard. Oh, wow. Wow.
When some say he crossed the line as the Oscars presenter, joking about Will Smith's wife, Jada's, shaved head.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
Jada, who has alopecia, an autoimmune disorder that results in hair loss, has shared her struggle with her followers on Instagram.
Now this is going to be a little bit more difficult for me to hide.
And on her show, Red Table Talk.
You know, I was in the shower one day and then just handfuls of hair just in my hands. And I was just like, oh my God, am I going bald?
Rock's joke about Jada's hair caused Smith to lose it, as heard on some of the international feeds for the Oscars.
Get my name out your mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Rock has said he didn't know about Jada's condition at the time.
Chris Rock's joke was sexist. It absolutely was. Whenever you go on the stage and make fun of women's appearances, you're dabbling in sexism.
Smith that same night won his first Oscar for his portrayal of Richard Williams in King Richard, his big win tainted.
When we tell the final story of his Oscar win, and that night, we'll never be able to disconnect that victory that he finally achieved from one of his worst mistakes in public memory.
The next day, Smith did take to Instagram and apologize to Chris Rock by name. Violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior was unacceptable and inexcusable.
I will say to you, Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable.
Months later, Will Smith also issued an apology on his social media platform.
There's no part of me that thinks that's the optimal way to handle a feeling of disrespect or insults. I've reached out to Chris, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk, and when he is, he will reach out.
With Jada weighing in on Red Table Talk.
My deepest hope is that these two intelligent, capable men have an opportunity to heal, talk this out, and reconcile.
Will Smith has apologized profusely for what happened. He knows he was wrong. He fed into the worst narratives about what it means to be Black and male in this country. Impulsivity, violence, recklessness, ego, macho-ness.
Still, despite Smith's multiple apologies, the hurt and humiliation felt by Rock seemed palpable Saturday night.
I've got smacked in the Oscars by this, and people like, did it hurt? It still hurts.
Chris Rock played the long game, and he got the last word, and those words were hilarious.
Stand-up comedians like Ariel Elias say Rock's performance was about taking back his agency.
When something traumatic happens to you, you get to handle it however you want as long as you're not hurting other people. I think there's something so smart about going, all right, I had this live moment that was not in my control, that everybody watched, that was humiliating for me. So now I'm gonna make another live moment that everybody's gonna watch, showing me having the power again. I think that's such a smart move.
Elias had her own experience of getting attacked on stage.
I went and got an ID.
When a heckler in the audience threw a beer can at her at a comedy club in New Jersey last year. She says we all miss out when jokes and social commentary are met with violence.
If we're afraid to talk about a conversation or talk about a topic because we're afraid we're gonna get attacked, it's gonna take us as a society a lot longer to move forward. Comedians are the ones a lot of times who drive these conversations. And without that, if we're afraid of that, if we're afraid of doing that and taking on that task, where does that leave everybody else? We're just gonna stay stuck for a long time.
So what I hear you say is that Chris Rock had the opportunity to teach us all a lesson in grace. Instead, he gave us a lesson in this is what revenge can look like.
And it's not a dish best served cold. Sometimes you shouldn't serve the dish at all. Sometimes you just kill them with kindness.
Variety's journalist Clayton Davis watched Rock's Netflix special live Saturday night.
You didn't feel comfortable with the last bit of the show.
I will always look at this as a squandered opportunity to Chris Rock to take the higher road, to look at this and teach us all a lesson in forgiveness. I'm not asking for kumbaya, but I think getting personal, talking about a marriage's infidelity issues, granted, they are out publicly about that, but it's still a bit of a low blow. And I think calling her the B word was completely inappropriate, out of line.
Since the slap, Rock has been crisscrossing the country on tour, hitting most major cities. Despite months of sold-out shows, video of his jokes about Will Smith have been hard to come by, adding to the mystery of his response on Netflix.
The best clubs force you to not be allowed to bring your phone, at least out of your pocket during a performance. It also forces us to be present and in the moment, right? If you don't even have your phone on you, you're forced to look at what is in front of you and experience the energy that we're trying to create.
After months of being away from the spotlight, last November, Smith sat down with Trevor Noah to promote his latest film on Apple TV+, Emancipation.
What can a mere man do to me?
What has it been like for you?
Yeah, that was a horrific night, as you can imagine. I guess the thing that was most painful for me is I took my hard and made it hard for other people.
About an escaped slave known as Whip Peter. Smith also receiving an NAACP Image Award for the same role and earning an African American Film Critics Association award just last week.
I want to thank all of you in this room for doing what you do for keeping our stories alive.
But on Saturday night in Baltimore, Smith's award-winning role became even more fodder for Rock's wrath.
I watch Emancipation just to see him get whooped. Got me rooting for Massa, okay? I hit him again, Massa.
As for Rock and whether one found the comedian's rebuttal cringeworthy or comedic genius, one fact is undeniable. Chris Rock can laugh if he wants to, all the way to the bank. Netflix paid him a reported $40 million.
So, do you think it's a coincidence this special comes the weekend before the Oscars?
Coincidence? No. I mean, marketing at Netflix, congratulations, you did your job. It's the perfect lead-in. Coming before the Oscars especially, you know, the weekend before, I think was a great opportunity.
Opportunity, or simply the latest round in a celebrity feud few saw coming. For years, Chris Rock and Will Smith enjoyed squeaky clean good guy images. 1 year, one slap, one special later, both men lost something. Humble apologies and harsh humor have yet to restore.
Chris Rock has said what he needs to say. I don't think he wants to dwell on this. My guess is that he doesn't want to talk about this anymore, because my guess is he didn't want to talk about this in the first place, but had to. It'll be interesting to see if Will Smith can take this on the chin the way that Chris Rock took that slap on the chin and just let it go.
Our thanks to Byron. And you can watch the 95th Academy Awards this Sunday night right here on ABC. Coverage starts 1 p.m. Eastern.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.